Hey everyone! Today I am using this adorable Lawn Fawn stamp, die, and layering stencil set called To My Fungi. And then I also have this waffle flower inside sentiment birthdays set. And I am making this a birthday card for a good friend of mine. So there are 3 different sizes of mushrooms in this stamp set. So I have taken my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I am stamping a bunch of them, and then I am heat setting them with clear embossing powder. And I wasn't quite sure how many I wanted to use, so I'm just kind of basically filling up that bit of scrap cardstock that I have with mushrooms. And I did one only in the largest size because that's kind of like the birthday boy on the card. And then I have a couple of the small ones and several of the medium ones. And like I said, I wasn't sure how many I was going to use, but I actually ended up using all of them. And I pulled out 2 colors of Distress Oxide ink to use. I have Antique Linen and Crackling Campfire. And these layering stencils are so easy to use. They line up really well. So I'm using the Antique Linen for the spots on the mushroom and for the stems. And then I will use the Crackling Campfire for the tops of the mushrooms. When I saw this set in my local scrapbook store, I just had to get it because a friend of ours really enjoys puns, and there are some punny sayings in this stamp set. So the one that I'm going to use, I'm basically doing a happy birthday, and then I'm using the the sentiment that says, "You're such a fun guy." So I'm pretty sure he'll get a good kick out of that. So the coloring of the mushrooms actually was the part that took the longest. And like I said, these layering stencils are super easy to line up and use. I just wasn't exactly sure how dark I wanted the tops of the mushrooms, so I kind of went back and forth over them a few times just until I got it to what I was happy with. And as I said before, I was just kind of making this card up as I go and didn't really have a complete idea of what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed mushrooms and I wanted that one sentiment. So I decided to take out my Prism Studios Stitched Circles nesting die, and I cut out a large circle, and then I will also cut out a small one. And I thought I would pop that biggest mushroom up in the center. And in my little stash of pre-cut things on my desk, I had these couple little banner dies. So I did stamp out the sentiment, "You're such a fun guy." And I decided I wanted more color on this. So I'm using those same 2 colors, and I'm basically doing the background in that Crackling Campfire. And then the larger circle I'm going to cover with the Antique Linen. And then next I basically am laying a bunch of the mushrooms on to kind of get a feel for what it could look like or what I might want to put on. And I was pretty happy with that placement. So I needed a happy birthday sentiment, which I grabbed from a couple other Lawn Fawn sets that I have and stamped that out on another banner die. And now comes the time of gluing all these mushrooms in place. And once they're all glued on, then I glue the main circle onto the card base, glue on the sentiments, and then for the little circle, I actually die cut 2 more of them out and just added them together just to give it a little bit more dimension without using foam tape. And then I added the inside sentiment. So here's the finished card. "Happy birthday, you're such a fun guy." And then on the inside it says, "Hope your day is filled with fun, laughter, and love." Thanks for watching. Have a great day.